Well, howdy and what's up, Internet? Jeremy with C6 Defense again. I just wanted to give a quick update on some of the stuff that happened this weekend and kind of lessons learned. If you're not from the area, you wouldn't know this. I don't think it was featured anywhere, but over this past weekend, or I guess when this video gets posted, it may be 2 weekends ago. But anyway, we had some pretty significant storms come through the area, and it was bad because on the radar, it just looked like a severe storm. Like it looked like it was going to come and go and be done in a couple hours. And it did do that. It did come and go. It was done. However, what we did not know, and what we couldn't have known, is that when it hit the area, there were a ton of areas where there was really high winds. There were some tornadoes that were spawned, not here directly where I am, about maybe 10 miles away, 15 miles away, and caused some significant damage. As far as I know, I don't think there's been any loss of life, which is a great thing, but there's been a lot of property damage for sure. And so I just wanted to give kind of a lessons learned. We were without power for about a day and a half. It started Friday afternoon when the storm came through, and we didn't get power back until late Saturday night. We were preparing to hunker down with no power Saturday evening, and then about 9:45 or so, stuff came on, and it was like, oh, cool! We can turn the air conditioner on. That was nice. South Texas gets kind of hot. Thankfully, Friday night wasn't so bad. It was probably in the 60s outside, so inside it was not too bad. But Saturday evening, it started getting humid and a little stifling inside, and so anyway, not good. We definitely made out okay. We were definitely blessed in that. However, we have some friends that were without power until late Sunday, and their area got hit pretty hard. So we're definitely, there was a lot to be concerned about. But we were without power for about a day and a half, and so, I mean, that's no big deal. But we did have some things to consider, and so I figured I would just kind of hopefully help. Maybe anything that I say here could be helpful, or you can critique it and tell me exactly what I should have done differently, or should own that I don't own. And we'll go from there. So we can have a little bit of a discussion about that in the comments if you want to. That's fine. So anyway, lessons learned. First of all, power. We need power for a lot of things. In this day and age, everything's powered, including things like your refrigerator and freezer. And so, if you got stuff in your fridge and freezer that you do not want to have spoil, then you need to find a way to power that. Thankfully, we have a generator. It's a little small inverter generator. It's a Champion brand. I don't have it inside because I'm inside and it's outside, and it's not exactly easy to haul in. But again, it's small. I want to say it's about 4,500 watts starting. I think that's right. It runs off of, really? Here we are again, stars of the show. Zip it. Trying to make a video. Yeah, you. Talking to you. Anyway, the generator runs off of gas or propane. And so I had some propane tanks that have been sitting for a while, so I used that. So during the day, we powered the fridge with, or Friday, we powered the fridge and the freezer off of the generator, which is great. However, generators are loud, and I don't really prefer having a generator run all night. Because of a number of reasons. I mean, first of all, it's loud. I don't sleep very well. I sleep very light anyway, but, having a generator run calls things. It tells people that you have power, or other things that you have power, and I don't necessarily want that when I'm sleeping. So, something that I have that we bought last year that literally saved our bacon this time is we got one of these. This is a Jackery. There's a bunch of brands of stuff like this. I don't necessarily have anything about this brand other than when I got it, it was on clearance, or it was on sale, Amazon Prime Day sale. Anyway, this one's a 1000 V2 or something like that. Anyway, It's a big battery, essentially. You plug it in, you charge it, and then you plug other stuff into it, and it powers other stuff. That thing powered our fridge and our freezer for over 8 hours. And so what I did was Friday night, I plugged the stuff into it, and then Saturday morning I got up, plugged the generator into, or plugged the fridge and freezer into the generator, then plugged the Jackery into the generator, and it charged in about an hour. And so I did that again. I started doing that again Saturday night. We ran the generator for a while, and then we had to leave somewhere. I can't remember. We went into town. There's not a whole lot to do here. I mean, we had board games and stuff like that, which we played. I got spanked at Battleship. That was fun. Really was fun, though. But anyway, we went into town, and so I didn't want to leave the generator running while we were gone. So I plugged everything into the Jackery again, let it run. Then we got home, switched everything, charged it off the generator, and we were getting ready for bed. And of course, power came back on a little bit later. So unplugged everything from the Jackery, plugged everything into the wall power, everything worked, charged the Jackery, now it's ready to go. And I will add that I want to say when I pulled it out of storage, it was, and I had charged it, probably haven't charged it since last year, probably Christmas time or something. I pulled it out because we were home, and pulled it out, charged it and everything, tested it and all that. But yeah, it held, I want to say it had like 98% power or something like that, so it didn't really lose much, which is really nice. Other things that we have that that wouldn't be a bad idea is some kind of lanterns. I got these little lanterns off of Amazon. It's like a 4-pack, and you pull it and it's on, or it's got a flashlight. And anyway, it charges via USB, also has a battery in it so you can plug other devices in to charge. I want to say these were like $15 for a pack of 4. So it's not bad. I just chunk them in my storage box. One thing that I really, really liked is this. This is a USB charged battery powered fan. And like I said earlier, I don't sleep well. And so I need to have noise. I need to have air. I need to feel not sweaty. And so this is battery powered. It generates a little bit of noise, and it feels pretty good, especially when there's no other air moving. And the battery is supposed to last for 20 hours. I didn't test that because I didn't leave it on all day. But like I said, it just charges via USB. And I have a couple of those so that we, you know, we have a couple of different beds, kids, when the kids are here and all of that. Yeah, you too. I don't have a fan for you. That's probably why you're upset. But in any case, got a couple of fans that we can plug in and just have a little bit of air going. Other couple of things you might want to consider, flashlights. I have lanterns, obviously, flashlights. I have a fun flashlight for the kids. This is one we got from Hobby Lobby, I think, but it's a little Minecraft light. It makes things fun. Sometimes you just gotta make things fun, right? Other things, other battery backups. These are just little batteries that you can charge cell phone devices or whatever else. I charged my watch off of one. I charged, because of course it died. It usually doesn't die. I only have to charge it maybe like every 14 days or so. It's a little Garmin watch. But of course it had to die. Or had to get close to dying. I didn't let it die. But I charged it. Phones, other flashlights. One of the flashlights that I carry is a little 511 that is rechargeable. So I charged that just to make sure it was charged. It wasn't dead. But anyway, got a couple of these. I think this one was a little more expensive because it has a solar panel built in. You can set it in the window or set it outside and let it charge. Oh, these lanterns also have solar panels on the top. Haven't tried it. It would take a really long time to charge. But have a bag of charge cables in my pack. Also, these are helpful too. These I bought these on clearance at Walmart. This goes around your neck, and USB-C charge. Battery's actually replaceable, which is nice, but you push the button and you have a couple of different speeds. So that'll last hopefully long enough if you need to go to sleep or something like that. I have another, let's see, I bought another pack of, these are a 2-pack I bought of a little battery backup. I want to say this was $14, something like that on Amazon. And so anyway, have that. I also have this. The Jackery is nice. This is a solar panel that will charge it. This is not a Jackery brand, and the reason it's not a Jackery brand is because the battery was on sale, the solar panel was not. And so I got this one for about half the price and put it together. I put it together, it didn't come with the right cables and stuff, so I got adapters and whatnot, made it work. Anyway, that's not the panel's on the other side. But anyway, you lay this out and fold it out, and then it charges. It would charge the Jackery, but it would take a long time to charge, just because of the capacity of the battery and all that, and obviously it's going to depend on the exposure to the sun. But anyway, you can tell that my main concern here is comfort, right? Being fans and lights. I mean, obviously you need lights to see, but fans and charging stuff. I have battery stuff that powers like our internet connection and things like that, but the batteries had died, and I don't really it wasn't that big of a deal. We have enough data on our phones that we were able to just use them, and it was fine. But one thing I would really like to be able to have would be to be able to plug in our water well to the generator. Now, seeing that we don't own this place, it's difficult to do that because it would require some cabling and stuff like that. The previous place I had wired up the well house to be able to be plugged into either a main power or disconnected and plugged into a generator. I had a big generator at the time, and we'll look forward to at some point being able to do that again. Have a little bit more robustness in our power outage preparedness. Yeah. Other thing, toilets, they require a lot of water to flush. I didn't really think through that. I keep probably five gallon water jugs here for drinking water. And we have bottled water and stuff like that. We keep that pretty well stocked, but found out that the toilets that are in this place take about 1.5 to 2 gallons of 1.5 to 2 gallons of water to flush. And so, and if you don't flush the toilets after they are used, they get really gross and smelly. So it might be a consideration to have a bit more water on hand for that. Food-wise, we have plenty of snacks, plenty of stuff that doesn't expire, plenty of like meat sticks, granola stuff we like to snack on. So we didn't have a shortage of food or anything like that. And then we ended up taking the kids into town and doing pizza at Mr. Gaddy's and playing some games, and that was fun. Although it would have been cheaper to stay home. Maybe I could have saved some money and invested more in some preparedness stuff, but I was investing in the kids, which is more important. So yeah. Anyway, stock up on board games too, because obviously if there's no power, you can't have TV. Video game systems don't work. And although we don't rely on those, we do have fun playing that. So Battleship was the hit. I think myself and my youngest played, I know we played Battleship, we played Exploding Kittens, which was a fun card game. Hungry Hippos, also a good suggestion for some loud and obnoxious fun. At least it's not loud and obnoxious if you're playing, it's loud and obnoxious to those around you. But fun stuff. Anyway, those are just some considerations that I had as far as what happened. Thankfully, like I said, the power came back on for us Saturday night. I want to say that power is back on for everybody now, but our power company had 60-something power poles that were down. I mean, and by down, I don't mean like just not working. They were like snapped in half. About a mile down the road, there was a pole that feeds our house and a number of other houses in this area. And literally it was broken off at the ground and just laying over. Not like barely pushed over, like the pole had snapped off. Part of the pole was coming out the ground and the other part was on the ground. And so it took them quite a bit of time to repair all of that stuff. There's a bunch of power crews that came in. So very, very thankful for our power people, or the linemen that take care of us. And I mean, you don't really realize how much stuff you rely on power-wise until you don't have power. And then you're like, oh crap, it's hot and humid in here. Oh yeah, air conditioning. You just kind of forget about those things when they work. And so sometimes it's helpful to think through think through things that don't work without power, think through things that you might need in the event of an emergency or anything like that. So if I could, I would wire up the well house, but I'm not going to be able to do that right now. So maybe at the next place we live, hopefully it's ours. And I have plenty of fuel on hand. Like I said, I have probably 6 or so propane propane canisters. Is that the right word? English is hard sometimes, I don't know. And I have gas backup, so we had enough to power everything with the generator, at least everything we needed. It'd be nice to have a bigger generator or a wired-in generator where we could just go and flip off certain breakers, because you flip them off because you're upset at them because there's no power. No, but you can wire in a generator panel and then have it manually, like where you set what you want to power in the house. That would be nice. There's some significant cost with that. But anyway, if I could plug in the water to a generator, that would be very helpful, at least as far as flushing toilets and getting water pressure in the house. Showers was another concern. We obviously went into town. My parents live about 25 minutes away. They had hot water, they had power. And so went in, had showers there at their place. But if we wouldn't have been able to do that, showers would have been difficult. There are certain things you could do. Obviously, you could get like a solar shower outside. We had some antibacterial man wipes. And so, you use that as you need to not stink and all that. I fed you. You did not have any problems without power. Thank you very much. There is no need to ruin the video. Quit pooping in your food. You might be less upset. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Thank you. Zip. Anyway, having things around for entertainment is probably one of the, aside from like hygiene and stuff, having things that kind of draw your attention away from the situation at hand. Books. I have a Kindle that has the battery life is excellent on, and it has a backlight on it, so I read in the dark. That's nice. I've almost finished reading Lord of the Rings. Been trying to get that done for a long time, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But then, having these dude and dudette over there making a bunch of racket, kind of distracting sometimes. So maybe a pet wouldn't be a bad idea. But anyway, what are some things that you do when you are out of power? And if you're out of power for an extended period of time, couple of days, what are some things that you think, hey man, that'd probably be a good idea to consider maybe having some alternative for? I don't know, let me know in the comments down below, and we'll discuss. And if you have any questions about some of the stuff, like I just buy stuff when it's on clearance. I buy cheap stuff, I use it, I figure out if it's good or not, and then, I let you know. So anyway, if you find some good deals, let me know. If you find some good ideas, stuff that I missed that probably could help, let me know. Obviously, this is not exhaustive. It's just, we were out of power for a day and a half. It really wasn't a big deal. But it could be a big deal if we didn't have things to power our fridge and freezer. Could be a big deal if we didn't have a way to flush toilets and take showers and stuff like that. A shower is not as important as probably getting rid of the waste in the toilet. So anyway, having a good amount of water on hand, having some good food on hand, and stuff to draw your attention away from the situation at hand. Thank you. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below. That's been my lessons learned, at least for this round. And I look forward to having some discussion with you guys in the comments. Until next time.